There you are, my beautiful people. Welcome to the latest installment of the most disturbing videos on the internet today. For context, don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. If you would like to, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and join one of the best communities on YouTube. With that being said, this is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in. Family records what they believe are Sasquatches communicating on their property in West Virginia. The sounds are incredible. The creature's diaphragms would have to be very large to create such sounds, and it seems as if there are more than one Sasquatch in the area. Let's take a closer look. Whatever it is, it sounded extremely close. I would be looking for footprints the next day in the snow.
There is so much of our past hidden under what we think are just piles of rocks. But upon closer inspection, they are anything but. Signs of the many resets of our realm are not to just be found in the many layers of dried mud beneath us. As we look at some of these magnificent structures from ancient civilizations long past that are said to be carved from hammer and chisel, you can see a clear melting type destruction pattern on these buildings. Think Archimedes' mirror, or perhaps a plasma storm-like event that left its trace realm-wide. Look at the Black Pyramid of Egypt. It is clear one of those great pyramids of Egypt exposed to one of these events, leaving the top melted and blackened and deformed. I think there are many pyramids like this Black Pyramid still to be found all across the world. Many think these are the results of a man-made event, like an ancient nuclear war. Others, like myself, I believe this was a plasma storm, part of a repeating cycle like the mud flood. Whatever the cause, it definitely left its mark the world over. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Kind of makes me think like that Demetrius's mirror, or whatever he said, that happened to this Black Pyramid. Could this be part of a reset event? Like probably the third or fourth reset that happened. Interesting stuff. The Black Pyramid. I never heard of this before.
The Egyptian artifacts make absolutely zero sense, and archaeologists might just be afraid of being wrong. How is it the further
Tell me that doesn't look like Michael Jackson.
might just be afraid of being wrong. How is it the further back in time we go, the more advanced they get? Egypt is old, like really old. Egypt is so old that even ancient Egyptians studied ancient Egyptian history thousands of years older than them. When the Romans discovered the pyramids, they were older to the Romans than the Romans are to us today. Woolly mammoths still roamed the earth when they were first built. And of course, everyone knows that Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone, or hell, closer to you watching this video right now than she did to the construction of the pyramids. What's strange is that as time went on, their artifacts somehow got less and less advanced. The Egyptian Empire reigned for about 3,000 years, divided into approximately 31 dynasties classified into the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms. When we go back to the first 5 or so dynasties, the Old Kingdom, we see impressive feats of design engineering unlike any other. And impressive is an understatement. These are straight up machine perfect down to the micrometer. Like this round vase, perfectly balancing itself dead center on a point no larger than the tip of an egg. Except this isn't your pottery class vase made of clay. It's granite. And granite is harder than steel. That's a fact. Here are the numbers. Here's another vase, slightly chipped, revealing its walls are as thin as a playing card. Another bowl made from diorite, a stone as hard or even slightly harder than granite, whose walls are literally 1/40th of an inch or half a millimeter thick. We have no idea how to make granite pottery like this using known ancient methods, although high-tech machines could probably do the trick. But I don't think you realize how insane it is to suggest that this level of mechanical precision was achieved on granite using primitive tools softer than granite, the official claim. And these are just a few. There were over 40,000 of these artifacts found under the step pyramid of Djoser dating back to the 3rd or 4th dynasty, with some suggesting they're actually pre-dynastic, meaning they're even older, and the Old Kingdom Egyptians just inherited them from a previous civilization. Oh, we're in too deep now, Johnny boy. It's only in recent times when we finally analyzed them with modern light scanning technology that we found out how mind-bendingly precise they really are. They took a jar, did some measurements in a lab, and to this day, Egyptologists have no explanation for these results. The top of the vase was 3/1000ths of an inch away from being perfectly flat, something only possible with like CNC machines today. For reference, a sheet of paper is 7/1000ths of an inch thick. A human hair is 2 to 3. This thing was a literal hair away from being perfectly flat. The inside lip of the vase's mouth was 1/1000th of an inch away from being perfectly perpendicular to the top, which is a mathematically flawless right angle. And the entire vase was 13/1000ths of an inch, which is still just like 2 sheets of paper away from being perfectly circular. These are legit CNC machine level perfections, mass produced over 40,000 times on a material harder than steel using copper and stone tools by hand. Oh, and they might be pre-dynastic before copper tools were widely even used. I don't see an ounce of logic in that. Okay, maybe this one was just a fluke, right? A one-off perfect vase as a result of mass producing over 40,000 of them. So they took more into the lab and found even more astonishingly accurate measurements, revealing alleged machine-calculated mathematical use of pi, the golden ratio, and more, again to within thousandths of an inch of accuracy. That's like that much. Everything from the flatness of the base, the roundness, and even the uniformity of the thickness of the walls was nothing less of CNC machine perfection. Justifying this by saying they were just really skilled or they had a lot of time does not explain this level of precision with the known tools and methods at their disposal. There are even some vases that are reportedly made from corundum, which is magnitudes harder than granite and sits right behind diamond on the hardness scale. Although this one is for some reason debated, a lot of people claim it isn't made from corundum, but still others insist it is. A single one of these pots would have likely taken weeks, if not months, given modern explanations. Shouldn't there be evidence of their highly precise techniques all over ancient Egypt? Oh, there was this. A hieroglyph outlining the sculpting of an alabaster vase, one of the softest materials ever, softer than marble, and totally possible with their tools. But it's been proven that the technique outlined here would not work with granite. Sure, cutting into huge slabs using rough and painstakingly slow techniques using those tools might be possible, as we've seen them desperately trying to prove, but the force of friction required to achieve that simply would not be possible on small, delicate artifacts like these, never mind how machine accurate they are. Some of these vases are as small as a thimble, not even practical, and even harder to make, almost like they were just showing off, like, look what we can do. One theory is that these vases were spun on some sort of grinding tool, for which they have no evidence nor recordings of, but that's completely blown out of the water with the lug handles on the sides here. It's pretty obvious these wouldn't be possible from spin grinding. Absolutely no one can explain how these lug handles were made, which again, lab results showed that they too were perfectly symmetrical and level to each other to within thousandths of an inch. Later dynasties even tried recreating these jars, and although still impressive, are nowhere near the precision of the earlier ones. This level of advanced pottery is said to have reached its peak in the first 2 dynasties, and then poof, they just forgot how to do it, which leads people to believe these artifacts might be much older than anyone thinks. What if they inherited them from even earlier previous civilizations? And it doesn't end with these. There's also the schist disc, crafted from a single piece of stone. Tell me, what kind of stone can be shaped like this by hand? No one really knows what this is, said to be a bowl or a flower holder of some sort, even though it looks sort of mechanical. Recovered from a 1st dynasty tomb, and again thought to be even older than that. Then we get to the statues, and these somehow make even less sense. The face of Ramesses at Luxor. Several of these statues were made in honor of the pharaoh Ramesses. Engineer Christopher Dunn noticed that there was something off about these faces. They were perfect, but almost too perfect, and not in a human way. He took a photo of the statue head, made it 50% transparent, flipped it, and overlaid the left side on the right side. Doing this, he discovered the face was perfectly symmetrical. Centerline measurements confirmed this too. It's like half the head was carved, then copy-pasted to the other half. We see consistent eye-to-mouth profile ratios across all of these statue heads, something that we'd likely do with like 3D modeling programs today, computer accurate accurate precision. Same thing with the crowns on their heads, and this wasn't done just once but repeated among many statues. This isn't something that anyone could just eyeball, but experts insist they were all done by hand. Professional sculptor Mike Leckie even wrote in a letter saying that his modern diamond tools would have been well worn out before barely even starting to sculpt something like this out of granite, and states that it would have been borderline impossible to repeatedly achieve this level of accuracy time and time again using only the tools we have evidence of. What machining technologies did ancient Egyptians or even earlier civilizations before them possess that archaeologists just simply refuse to even consider?
Egyptian CNC machines has to be the only answer. But again, how could they put those handles on? Made out of granite? That is a mystery. Beneath the sun-baked ruins of Tula, Hidalgo, Mexico, a simple excavation unraveled into one of the time's most mysterious archaeological revelations. What lay hidden beneath the earth were not just artifacts, fascinating symbols, crystal spheres, metallic vessels, and geopolymer structures, objects that challenge every assumption about what we have been told about the forgotten world. In this exclusive on-site documentary, we take you step by step into this mystery, the first moments of discovery and its exact location, analysis of the strange metals and unknown compounds beyond conventional science, decoding cryptic symbols and possible ties to Anunnaki, Toltecs, and ancient watchers. What is going on here? In the beginning of this video, it looks like there's some type of DNA strand structure artifact. Oh, let's get into this.
Back in May, a large sarcophagus, pyramid, and many plates were found in Tula, Hidalgo, Mexico. We documented them here. You may have seen the video. This today was found, another amazing discovery. This archway was found as they were digging a hole. The top of it crested through. And so they dug it out. You know, you can see here it's popping through this hole on this land. And it took quite a few hours today to dig it out. It's very, very precisely sealed, as you can see. There was intent on sealing this. It took some time and some effort to finagle everything out and get it opened up. When they did, boy, the surprise was extreme. The stuff that's inside of this tomb or crypt, you know, with the sarcophagus being buried on this land and some of the other finds, it definitely seems as if this was a stash, you know, as if King Tut had in his tomb all these treasures that.
Look at this. You got a pyramid. We got some type of elongated head creature. What is going on?
It's possible these are the treasures that were with some of these tombs or the beings that were alive at this time. As you can see, some of the items inside are just immaculate. The green is a oxidation on this geopolymer. This yellow stone, or the green stone in this case here, is actually a geopolymer. It's a lot like limestone, but it's something that was created not by the earth. The amazing crystal skulls found in here, some of them are giant, extreme.
Crystal skulls. Look at this. Crystal skulls. Look at this. Straight out of Indiana Jones.
Extreme clarity. The depictions are all very consistent with the pieces we've been documenting over the last 5 years. That is just the interesting part, is that the consistency in the drawings is in many cases very, very similar, as if almost one artist was to do this. And the crazy part there is that.
What is this supposed to be representing? Some type of swan, maybe? With some type of horn? Horse hoof? I couldn't even tell you what this is. It looks like a swan with a one horse leg.
that, you know, there's so many of these items. The amount of time it would take one artist to do this is longer than most artists are alive. Actually, I believe it would be probably older than any artist, because there's just so many thousands of pieces that we've documented, tens of thousands, and all with this type of, you know, iconography, imagery. And the thing with these items is they're all extremely unique and extremely detailed, not just carved into a perfect sculpture, but the details on the surface is through the roof in terms of the relief and different types of carvings to acquire different results. Multiple different types of language has been found and identified, things like cuneiform and hieroglyphics, but also other languages, lesser known languages, pre-Canaan, Proto-Sumerian, a lot of different relationships. The AI has a heyday with it, which is a pretty gratifying experience, because it has a way to compare all these proto languages in ways that our minds. It'll be great to utilize this as well as some of our other footages to create the full documentary that's in the works right now of the.
That reminds me of one of those heads on Easter Island, or something you would see like in the Aztecs.
Discoveries on this land, and we're going to have interviews and get down to the nitty gritty of all of these discoveries in a much more, you know, non-social media way. Right now, there's people complaining that it's being released on social media and not in proper formats. And I completely agree as far as the publishing and, you know, getting this stuff verified by third parties. Why isn't it?
It's massive. I'm trying to see the art on the side.
It being done, I hear people asking this question, and you know, I gladly give them the money, and I'd gladly give them the pieces if they can get the verification done. It's just something that's being looked over and pushed away in ways that make it very complicated. You know, it's a very, very, very complex topic when you have this sort of complexity coming out of the ground from an ancient time, and things like the Buga sphere flying around, and black budget programs in the government that we've known about.
Buga spear, that's the name of the spear the guy was describing, the Green Beret, I think. But that was probably another version or a completely different one.
For 100 years almost, or probably longer in this case. It's something that's just going to have to be researched and done properly. If you have a way to peer verify things, if you want to take a crack at the research, please, by all means, reach out. We will definitely make it happen. It's a group effort here to get this understood in the best way that we can, and I encourage it. Till next time.
Either somebody hit the jackpot or they're pulling the arts and crafts on us. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right, guys, feast your eyes on this specimen. Wowzers. The pineapple encrusted pyramids overlapping this lime mineral is truly exquisite. Do we have a name for this? No. I do not know what this one is classified as, but as you know how we do on this channel, I have to give it a name. If I had to name this specimen, I would call it Pineapple Dorito. What would you call it? Strange sky over Michigan. What is it? I can tell you just right off the bat, it looks like a mothership then flew across there, doesn't it?
Is this? It is going all the way across the sky, and then it stops there. Wild. I'm gonna go the other direction. It's like I've never seen a sky like that in my life. And then here's the sun up here. Wow. Is this?
Yeah, what we're looking at is the Mothership trail takeoff. Right where it ended, it said pew, hit hyperdrive on us. But right there, it was slowly gathering speed. UFO/UAP recorded in Panama City, Florida. Caught on film. HD. Let's take a closer look at this.
What is that, people? What is that? No, it changes shapes. It's not a firework. It's not a balloon. No. What is that? What is that? See, it's the original size. What is that? What is it? It's going faster now. What is that? It's like no drone I've ever seen. What is it? Anyone have any clue what this is? They're here. No clue. It's like slowed to a complete halt, basically. There it goes again. What is it? Okay.
I was wrong.
At first, I wanted to say a drone, but it started to shapeshift a little bit into like a orb, and then it went back to your traditional UFO discus shape. What it is, I don't know. That remains a mystery. Our world was a much bigger realm before the flood. Interesting. Oh yeah, we got a petrified dragon, petrified elephant, tortoise. Dang, what was that? Several tortoises. Another reptile. That looks like a koala bear. Petrified Komodo dragon. Okay, we rapid firing. Another petrified turtle. Another petrified elephant. Oh, a bat. A salamander. A giant frog. Interesting. What is she working on? Was she praying to that giant snake? It does resemble snake skin, doesn't it? What is going on? All right, we got another one, a scorpion. I couldn't even tell you what that was. Or this, like an eagle maybe. Back to the elephant island. Mama elephant and a baby elephant. Horse stuck in mud. A whole island laying on its side, but it really is an elephant. Lady falling asleep on the mountain edge. That looks like an alligator. Crocodile, one of them. What are we supposed to do with an alligator that big? I guess we would need some giants or something to subdue something that size. That makes Lake Placid look like a children's story. That's all we got for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word for today is Egyptian mysteries. Go ahead and drop Egyptian mysteries in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one and you really rock with your boy. You made it through the end of the video, and I just want to say thank you for your support. I love you guys. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.